Good morning, gentlemen. It's a wonderful time. I thought I'd talk to you something what's happening in Pakistan. Pakistan, as you know, is India's neighbor, and it's got a geopolitical position in the world map. Americans are courting Pakistan, and Pakistan is close to the Chinese. At the same time, they've declared themselves as the sworn enemy of India. But one thing we must remember is that unlike in India, it is the Pakistan army which calls the shots. That means they are the ones who are in power. And they are the ones who say do this or don't do that. Actually, the history of the Pakistan army is really the history of the British Indian Army. Because the Muslim regiments of the British Indian Army now form the Army of Pakistan. And these Muslim regiments have fought very well. In fact, if I remember correctly, the first man to win the Victoria Cross during the First World War was a Muslim soldier, and his statue adorns the gate of the headquarters of the Pakistan Army. So the ethos, the culture of both the armies was the same, but there was a difference. Whereas the Indian army, which was supposed to be a Hindu army, was heterogeneous in the sense you had so many castes, you had religions, you had the Gurkhas, the Sikhs, the Garhwalis, the Rajputs, the Marathas. In Pakistan, it was not like that. Basically, the British Indian Army consisted of the Punjabi Muslims only. And they did have a few Baluch and Pathan regiments, but they were not trusted by the British, and the British basically trusted only the Muslim regiments of their army, which are now forming the backbone of Pakistan. So it was a unitary army, while India was not a unitary army. But talking of Pakistan, it was heading towards destruction because there was total instability. They could not even frame their own constitution, and ultimately there was no choice because we had General Ayub Khan taking over as the president of Pakistan in a military coup in 1958. Now that's something which is well known. That even alarmed the Indian leader, that is Pandit Nehru. Even they were terribly alarmed, But that day, 1958, now to 2022, a period of 64 years have elapsed. The Pakistan army has been at the helm of affairs all the time. Ayub went, then came General Yahya Khan, and then came General Ziaul Haq, who overthrew Bhutto and got him hanged. And then came General Musharraf, and there were Benazir Bhutto and Nawaz Sharif, who were written off. Bhutto was the daughter of Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, and she was blown up in a terrorist attack. Musharraf had to run away. And then came General Bajwa, and he's been in charge now for the last 6 years. The situation is that Bajwa is going to retire on the 29th of November this month. And he's only 61. So as per the constitution of Pakistan, the army chief serves up to the age of 64. He's already been army chief for 6 years, and he can, if he wants, get an extension and continue for 6 years, for another 3 years more. But during his last press conference in America, when he had gone there, he made it very clear that I do not seek an extension and I do not want to continue further. So the ball is now open. Now my information tells me that just about a few days back, a Corps Commanders Conference was held in Pindi, the headquarters of the Pakistan Army. Now Pakistan Army doesn't have commands like the Indian Army has got. They got corps. And the corps report direct to GHQ, that's the general headquarters where the army chief sits. Pakistan always had two 4-star generals. The first is the chief of staff, and the second is the army chief. The first general is a redundant general. I mean, he doesn't have any power, but the man who had the real power is the army chief, which General Bajwa has been. And as per the constitution of Pakistan, up to the rank of general, all the promotions are the prerogative of the army chief. The government has nothing to do with it. And just for the information, Pakistan has got 33 lieutenant generals and 197 major generals. It's a very top-heavy force, unlike in India. Now, this force has been controlling Pakistan all the time. And even now, they are the one in the driver's seat. But there's a lot of turmoil in Pakistan because Imran Khan has launched an agitation. He's continuing with the freedom march from Lahore to Islamabad, and now I'm told he's going to go up to Rawalpindi. And he's been shot in the leg, but still the freedom march is continuing. Now we're coming to a very precarious situation in Pakistan because many of the people are blaming the Pakistan army for the attack on Imran Khan. Well, maybe true, may not be true, you can say that. But in the Corps Commanders Conference, some very important points came up. Now, I'm not a gospel truth or a soothsayer or astrologer, so please don't take my words as gospel truth. I could be wrong. And the fact is, the Corps Commanders Conference did take place, and as by my knowledge, what will happen, I'll try to tell you. There were about 33 people, generals, attending this meeting, because these are the number of generals that they have. And two of the generals, one is retiring on the 18th, the one is retiring on the 29th, and the question is, would they get an extension, because Bajwa retired on the 29th. Now, Bajwa presided over the meeting, and it was decided to discuss a few points. The first point, which I'm told was discussed, is whether martial law should be invoked in Pakistan, because some generals felt that Pakistan is in serious problem, Imran is creating a lot of problem, and there's instability, the government is not in full control, and there were some who said, I think we should step in like we have done earlier, restore order and then go back. But the majority didn't agree. That also is a fact. And they felt that they should not interfere in the civil administration, but just support whoever is the party in power and give their recommendations to the Prime Minister. Now, as per the Constitution, as I've already told you, up to the rank of Lieutenant General, promotions are the prerogative of the Army Chief. But the Army Chief's appointment has to be approved by the Prime Minister. He appoints and is approved by the President. Now, there have been two previous very sad cases. And obviously, when Shahbaz Sharif, the present Prime Minister, wanted to appoint the Army Chief, he flew to meet his brother in London, and he was there discussing who to appoint as Chief, because Sharif has had a very, very sad experience. First of all, there was the sad experience of Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. When he was the president, he selected Zia-ul Haq, who was not the senior most general. He was, I think, number 5th in the line. And he thought, since he's a Muhajir, he's someone who's come from India, and he will be very loyal to him. But it didn't happen that way. Within a few months, he ousted Bhutto, got him arrested, made a justicial trial, got him hanged. That's the end of Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. And then when Nawaz Sharif was Prime Minister, he appointed Musharraf, who again was junior. He was a man whose parents had migrated from Delhi. I mean, he's got his house still in Old Delhi, where his father and all people used to stay. And again, Nawaz Sharif committed a big mistake. He thought this man is going to be a yes man. We've got no base in Pakistan. But again, Musharraf, overthrew Sharif, and probably he would have been hanged, also like Bhutto. But then Saudi Arabia intervened, and they told them, look, we're going to keep Sharif with us, no hanging. So Musharraf had to agree, and he exiled him for 10 years to Saudi Arabia. Ultimately, Musharraf himself had to leave, as even General Zia-ul Haq, as you know, he was blown up in a plane crash. So now again the same thing is happening, and the Prime Minister of Pakistan has to decide who to make the army chief. Now, in this conference, they decided to send a recommendation in this Corps Commanders Conference, a recommendation to the Prime Minister. And I am told 3 names were forwarded, and they have requested the army, the Prime Minister, to go by seniority. That means the senior most general should be given preference, and in case you don't feel he's up to the mark, you could make a selection out of the 3. Now, 3 names are with Shahbaz Sharif, and probably those names he went to discuss the issue with Nawaz Sharif, who, as you all know, is been sentenced to 10 years in jail in absentia, and he's sitting there enjoying himself in London, India, and come back to Pakistan. I mean, he'll be arrested, put behind bars. So, but at the same time, he's the leader of the party, and obviously he's a man to reckon with, and he's the man who's to decide. So his brother went there. Now, who's going to be the army chief? This is a very, very big question. Imran Khan has made his conditions clear. He wants the present army chief to be given an extension for 6 months, and he will call off the march provided there's an assurance that there's going to be an election early next year, which the Sharif brothers cannot agree, because if in case they agree to that, that would be the finish for them. They would lose, because Imran is now extremely popular man in Pakistan. And if you recollect, gentlemen, in the last 8 by-elections, Imran's party, the Tehreek-e-Insaf, has won 6. So the writing is on the wall for Mr. Sharif. He doesn't know what to do. I mean, I don't think what's going to do now. So Sharif has to make the choice. It's like biting the bullet, you know. You have to bite the bullet. The day 29th is coming. It's not very far away. And Bajwa will retire and go away, and the new chief has to be appointed. So it's a very interesting position which Pakistan is in at the moment, because Sharif, you know, as the saying goes, once bitten, twice shy. He made a mistake once when he made Musharraf the army chief by superseding 5 other generals. I don't think he would do that mistake again. And most likely, probably he'll go by seniority. The Pakistan army at the moment is trying to be apolitical. Now, there's a reason behind it, because the Americans have made it clear. There's an amendment, I think, which was taken a few years back in America, which I came to know only a few days back, that America has said that in case the army takes over Pakistan, we are not going to give any aid or any financial help to Pakistan. So the army doesn't want to come back into the driver's seat, but they're going to drive from the back. And the decision which has been taken in the Corps Commanders Conference is, in Pakistan, that is, to forward 3 of the senior most generals' names to the Prime Minister. He can select 1 out of them. At the same time, they have said, whoever is the government in power, we will support them. That means the army will support Shahbaz Sharif. Now, situation in Pakistan is very, very fluid. I don't think Imran Khan is going to accept this dispensation. He's been always talking a lot. He says it's like by merit. Now, what is merit? Merit at that level has little meaning, even like in India, because everybody is equal. Everybody has reached that position by virtue of his work, his efficiency. Gentlemen, the situation in Pakistan is extremely precarious. The selection of the army chief is most important. Bajwa retires on the 29th. The Corps Commanders Conference has been held. They have requested the Prime Minister to follow the principle of seniority. We'll have to see what happens. Anyway, it's all fun and games. I close now, gentlemen. Wonderful talking to you all, and I hope you like it. Like this video, and please share it with your friends. Subscribe, and I close now. Jai Hind. God bless you all.